Thank you, Harry. We're going to move on to the agenda now. I'm going to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Barry Hodges. Mr. Hodges is a local businessman. I'm sure he doesn't mind being called Barry. He's a local businessman. He's absolutely meticulous and assiduous in his research. He's going to tell you now exactly about the situation with a number of houses in Boscombe which are being used to help people with drug problems. We've deliberately cancelled out the names of the roads and the streets, so nothing is going to be absolutely certain, can't be certain where they are, but we're just going to show you the numbers involved. Over to you, Barry.
Thank you. As Harry mentioned, we had a meeting 3 weeks ago, and at that meeting we showed the people there a map. We're trying to produce a map of Boscombe and Bournemouth showing the concentration and of drug services in the area. I think we've got a there. This is the green area outlined there is Boscombe, and the red dots represent some sort of drug-related service. They're not all HMOs, and they're not in their correct positions because we've done that for security. But it's just to give an impression of what so many services looks like in a small area, and they're not all there. There are more than those which we haven't managed to locate yet. Now, the problem is obviously it attracts more and more problems, and as the situation is at the moment, there's no restriction on there could be more under present planning rules. People could apply for more and more services. And it's with that in mind that we had a look at the scheme that Hackney Council is looking at, called barrier busting. And what in Hackney, they have a similar problem with a concentration of betting shops, which they feel has affected their community adversely. And what they did was they applied under this scheme to make betting shops a special planning class, so that they can restrict the number of betting shops in an area, the concentration of them. And this is the document, parts of the document that they submitted under the scheme. And basically what we were looking at was perhaps Bournemouth Council could look at something similar, or either this scheme or something similar, to limit the number of services in certain areas in Bournemouth. This would be perhaps a start towards getting things under control. We've just learned, or quite recently, this has been approved, and now so they're going to go ahead with that and be able to limit the number of betting shops in the area. The scheme was supported by a number of other councils around the country, and as you can see, Bournemouth is one of the councils that has supported it. So we would like to think that Bournemouth might be, looking at something like that to introduce in our area here. So basically, that's all I've got to say. We'll move on quickly because looking at that agenda, we want to move on. There's a lot of people who want to say anything, so I'll hand over back to John.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, because